Look at that honey just raining out of there. Hi, it's Kamon Reynolds. I'm super excited to bring you this video of the USA's newest extractor, made in Wisconsin, the Thorne Extractor. Now, first off, we didn't get paid. We didn't receive any discounts for this video. So why am I doing it? The reason Gus and I are testing this is because we're a big believer in products being tested and made to be awesome for beekeepers. Beekeepers need to be the ones verifying, hey, this is what we need, this is what works. So I'm going to go over what we liked about it, what we didn't like, and what I'd like to do right now is say thank you to Gus for letting me use his honey house for this. We ran 150 something gallons through this Thorne extractor, and a big thank you to Thorne Manufacturing for loaning us the extractor so we could test it out, and for listening to Gus and I's opinion so we can get this extractor tweaked to be one of the best and most useful extractors on the market. So let's dive right into what are the things that I think makes an extractor great, and then we'll get to the issues at the end of the video. Now, capacity. I've always wanted an extractor that I can grow into. This is a great one for the small professional sideliner or serious hobby beekeeper, or just somebody who wants to get it done fast. Now, Thorne will have a smaller extractor coming out in the near future, but right now this is their only model. It holds 36 medium frames and 20 deep frames. If all of those frames are completely filled, that's up to 10 gallons in one sling. That is awesome. So capacity, I think, is addressed really well here. Let's go right into durability, because I think that kind of ties in pretty good. The durability of this thing, from what I can tell, is made great. We ran 150 odd gallons through it. It didn't even blink at all. The motor didn't get hot. That motor is so small, and it's made in New York, by the way. This, as much as this can be made in the USA, it is made in the USA. And so I love that durability side of it. All the welding's done here. The strength is good, good thick steel. Another part of durability, and this is something I don't like about a lot of extractors, is that many of them, the legs or some part of it, is painted. And I know that it's still good steel, but whenever anything rusts around honey, you just got to watch it and things like that. So I like the fact that even if it's on the legs, I don't have to worry about rust or flaking paint getting into my honey. That's really great. So I've shown you already, and here's another clip of the valve size. This is a big one. This is the biggest valve size I've seen on an extractor of this size. And the 2-inch valve is fantastic for draining it quickly. And when you're slinging up to 10 gallons at a time, it needs to be able to drain very quickly. And it also needs to be able to allow sometimes large pieces of wax to be able to flow out of there. So I really do love the drain quite a bit. Gus and I both kept going, man, love this drain. It was awesome. One thing that must be considered whenever we buy something for the long haul, and when you buy a good extractor, it is for the long haul, is parts availability. I've seen this a lot over the last 20 years. Many of the Amazon or foreign extractors that are being sold do not come with the American customer service and consistency, which is parts availability and service. Something will eventually happen, and many times it's extremely difficult or sometimes impossible to get service or parts from foreign extractors. So I'm a big fan of a company that is willing to keep tabs on their customers and keep them happy. Let's talk about the motor. This New York motor was definitely the most surprising part of this extractor. It's half the size of your typical 3rd horsepower motor, and yet it worked all day and did not get hot at all. It was extremely smooth and so quiet. Listen to this clip on how quiet it is. It's almost like it's not running. Crank it up just a little bit. One last feature about the motor that I love is the fact that it is not belt driven. My kids get in the extraction room, we bring people in, just personal safety reasons. It's something that I don't have to worry about at all. Really love this New York motor. So let's cover the last of the things that I liked about it. First of all, it seemed to be very balanced. The reel was extremely smooth. The motor was extremely smooth. And we didn't even have it bolted to the ground. If this thing was bolted to the ground, I would just have that sucker cranked up about 60 and just run it like mad. One of the things that I also liked about it is this is a smart motor. It actually has a little bit of an engine brake, and so it slows the reel down automatically for multiple reasons. So let's say you forget to open your valve up and the honey starts hitting the reel, it feels the resistance, and instead of trying to burn up your motor, it turns it off to where you'll just have to come back, drain it, and then start it up again. This is one of the dangers of motors that don't have this feature, is if you don't watch it, is you can whip your honey, get a lot of air into it, but also it can burn up your motor or cause a lot of damage or blow a fuse right when you don't need to blow a fuse. Now, where is my money going? This is one point that I like to make, is that it's staying here in the good US of A with a company that's willing to send product out to be tested, and for us to, here in a second, show you what we didn't like and be open and fix it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more companies in beekeeping that are willing to listen to beekeepers and make products that really help. Now, there were 3 things that really stood out to me that could be improved. One of them really needed to be improved, and 2 of them weren't as big of a deal. So firstly, as we sit the frames down into the extractor like this, it will spring just a little bit when they're light. So let's say it's empty and you're loading it up with a heavy frame. The first frame or 2 will kind of spring a little bit on that, but since they're heavy, they eventually weigh it down, and it's really no big deal. Now, these are all extracted, so they're all very light. This isn't the end of the world, and I was still able to load it pretty good, but you can see how there's just that little bit of a spring in there when the frames are light. All it's going to take is a little bit of reinforcement between one section of the bottom of the reel and the other. Thorne has already been made aware of this, and they've already changed the reel design to compensate for that for future buyers. Now, another thing, the reel was a little bit sharp in 1 or 2 places. It wasn't real bad, but it's just something to watch out for, and I had to make them aware of that as well. It's because it's cut out by laser, and therefore, lasers make a really nice balanced reel, but they're a little sharp sometimes. Lastly, it was just a little bit tight on fitting all 36 frames in there. We could definitely fit them all in, but this was the most important, that we felt like a little bit more room be made, so that was just a little bit quicker and easier to load, and Thorne has already again adjusted their reels to make sure that it will fit 36 frames like it did in this video, but just way better and a little bit more comfortable for the beekeeper. So that concludes the video. This is a little bit different than the videos that I typically do, so please let me know down below what you think. If you liked it, this is okay occasionally or whatever. Thanks for watching this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing more Thorne products out in the future.